Good morning, Facebook. This is Sylvia Randolph coming to you once again, just to talk briefly about the foster care week on the Hill and to kind of give an understanding of some of the suggestions that I have made within the past month to the president and to the Foster Youth Caucus in terms of some of the legislation that should and could be passed. And one of those, we have a senator currently in Los Angeles who's passing the falsely accused legislation or trying to have that passed. And I also suggested that, based an account to what occurred and happened with myself, it would be a marvelous thing if we had legislation that was in place that kind of addressed the two different acts. One would be the Safe and Families Act, defining for legislative purposes within the states what exactly a safe environment is not or is, and how exactly that would look in terms of legislation. The second account would look at how we can deal with the matters within the foster care system, Department of Social Services. And this would pertain to the Preservation Act, Family Preservation Act. And that Family Preservation Act would address the issues that currently go with the understanding that a family is not being, or someone has called in, and the system finds that there was no neglect, no abuse, but yet there was social issues, which is what they termed something for me, social issues that says the mother is not working, she's living in a hotel, we need to make sure she's psychologically stable, excuse my tongue tightness, to care for her child. One of the things we definitely need to do within our system is to make sure that the system is prioritized in making sure, mandating that with the Preservation of Families Act, we don't just want to go out and search for family members long and far. We want to first address the home unit, the house unit, and that house unit is between, in my case, the mother and the child, and where in which there were social factors in place. The Department of Social Services should have been utilized. And so what can we do as a system to make sure that that happens? Well, we can utilize and put in place some policy that says when it enters the court system, if at all that it should, maybe there be some policy there that says we're going to make sure that through the courts, working in relationship with the court says that this mother, to ensure, because we want to protect all children, we want to know that all children are safe. And so what we're going to do, Ms. Randolph, is this. We're going to provide you this, and I believe that I actually stated this earlier, but I didn't have or didn't utilize those specific two acts to kind of back up what I was talking. The one, Safe Families Act. The second is the Family Preservation Act. The one, Safe Families Act, talking and defining and giving an exclusive position of what a unsafe family looks like. The second would be ensuring the relationship between the Department of Social Services, the judicial system, and the family is one that is first and foremost truly within the family preservation to keep families together. The first thing the court should say is, has that mother been given the support it needs from the Department of Social Services to ensure that this family is not, or this child is not being neglected under its terms, via meaning that the ability is there but the mother's just not doing it. If we find that there's social needs, then how do we then put in place those needs to assure that the family stays together? So those are the two things, in short, of definitely on paper when I introduced it, or advocated for these two different things. And then of course the third one was ensuring the ability to save. Exiting out of the system homeless is not not something that we can definitely say is good. There's no way in the world that we can say as an American people that we have over 3,000 people turning the age of 18. Half of them are homeless in our cities, round and about, mentally unstable, and having and lacking the educational needs. So we need to enforce some things. We need to enforce a lot of things. Well, they've already enforced education. They're saying in the states that those that graduate or during their time of high school should be getting and receiving the assistance that will push them in the financial assistance that will push them into an educational bound. The second one is making sure that all of the medical benefits, oh my goodness, I have a soldier behind me, is making sure that all of their medical needs and benefits are in place and making sure that everything that they need goes from there. The third thing is some financial assistance. We could take just $10 every month, put it aside from that within that family, and it's reimbursed to the families. It goes back to the families. $10. You set up a savings account, you work with a bank, and you say, you know what, this is for you. We're going to start this process for you now. When we get going, by the time you exit our system in the state of Maryland, in the state of Massachusetts, in the state of New York, in the state of Rhode Island, in the state of all over the world, every child leaves out that system with a bank card and a savings of a specific amount on that card and says, here you go. It can be used for this, or this. We're going to sit you down with the counselor. We're going to set this up. When you're exiting, this is what we're expecting. So, prayerfully, hopefully, they hear it, they read it. I know they get a lot of emails. I know my name is not of the important list of persons known, but I hope that they read emails from a constituent who says, I have a great concern and great relevance for our youth in foster care. And one of the things that we must do, we must acknowledge the need for some great change. That one change is making sure the relationship between those three entities, the mother, the judicial system, and the Department of Social Services, are working together. Not alleviating or eliminating the biological mother, but working for the purpose of making sure that that family is getting all of the needs and services necessary. So we need to put some legislation in place that discusses that specifically when it comes down to the social problems of a family. Thank you and have a wonderful day.